potato gun problem. We're launching our potato, follows a trajectory. We're told that it reaches a final total height of 42 meters. So again, projectile problems, we want to talk about horizontal and vertical. Distance, acceleration, v final, v initial, time. Distance, acceleration, v final, v initial, and time. We know that the vertical distance is 42 meters. We know its acceleration is 9.8 meters per second. You know, horizontally, acceleration is 0. This is all we really know at this point in time. But the vertical tells us quite a bit. If we talk about the last half of this flight, that part in here, then we know that the initial velocity was 0, because it then starts to fall. All right, so we could figure out how fast it's going just before it hits the ground. We could say that v final squared is v0 squared plus 2ad. Well, v0 is 0. That cancels out. So the final velocity as it falls would be the square root of 2, 9.8, and 42. So if you calculate that out, we come up with a final speed that it lands vertically of 28. I guess you got two significant digits. Let's call it 29 meters per second. Now, just by knowing that, I looked at my original speed triangle. I know that this angle down here is 35. And if it lands at 29 meters per second vertically, that must have been how fast it took off. So this side would have to be 29 meters per second. Well, I now know this is a right triangle. I know angle and side, so that means that I can figure out what my hypotenuse is. If I say that the sine of 35 is the opposite, which is 29, over my hypotenuse, that means that 29 divided by the sine of 35 would give me 51 meters per second. That would be my muzzle velocity right there. If I wanted to continue on, I could then figure out my horizontal velocity. So the first part is over. Muzzle velocity, 51 meters per second. How far does it land? That's horizontal distance. Now, to figure out horizontal distance, I need to know horizontal speed and time, because distance is speed times time. Well, the horizontal speed I can figure out from my triangle right here. So for this, to figure out this side, I'm going to say tangent. Tangent of 35 is equal to 29 over my adjacent side. So 29 divided by tangent of 35 gives me 41. So that would be my initial horizontal speed, which is also my final. To figure out my time, again, I go back to vertical. Distance is 1/2 AT squared. as long as my initial velocity is 0. So that means time would be 2d over a, take the square root. So 2 times 42 divided by 9.8, take the square root, and that's about 2.9 seconds to fall. That gives me a total of 5.8 seconds. This in the air completely. So then 5.8 times 41 gives me about 240 meters that it travels.